Hi guys, I'm Greg Howlett, and I want to take a moment today and talk to you about one of my favorite turns. Now, I've talked about turns before on my blog. Let me remind you very quickly what a turn is. A turn is a set of chords that we use to sort of smoothly glue two phrases of a song together. Let's give you a really quick example. Let's say that we end a phrase on a one chord, and the music calls for that one chord to be held for maybe 8 beats. Maybe a singer is holding a note there. What we can actually do is we can look at the phrase on the next line, the next phrase, and look to see what chord it starts with. And then we will put a sequence, a progression of chords during the 8 beats that smoothly leads to the next line, the first chord of the next phrase. Let's say that the next phrase is a one chord. It starts on 1. What we might do is we might add a 2-5 progression, because 2-5 leads to 1. So instead of playing a 1 chord for 8 beats, we might play a 1 chord for 4 beats and then a 2-5 progression for 4 beats, smoothly leading back to the 1. So we've talked about that before. Really nice thing to do. It adds some harmonic interest to a song. But today I want to talk about one that I've sort of been working on lately. This is outside of my normal repertoire. I'm working on a project of classic American songs, early 20th century stuff, and I'm working on a song that you guys will all know. This is a classic Disney tune, When I Wish Upon a Star, from Pinocchio. And the last line goes like this. Let's play it first, and then we'll talk about what we need to do. Before we get too far in this, let me make sure you know what these chords are that I'm playing. I'm starting on minor 3. That's important. I'm starting on minor 3. And then the second phrase that you hear is a flat 3. The second chord you hear, rather, is a flat 3 diminished. Really pretty sound. And then we're moving to 2. And then we're moving to 5, sus5 actually, and then 5. Okay, so it's minor 3, flat 3 diminished, 2, 5, 1. Now, you guys know that when we arrange music, normally we want to do something with the ending instead of just ending. And so I'm going to do something here instead of just ending. And the way I'm going to go about that is I'm going to tag it. And when we talk about tagging, we're talking about basically repeating something from the song at the end. And I want to tag this song with the last line. So basically, we're going to play the last line, what I just played, but then we're going to repeat it. Now, here's the thing. This should be simple, but it's not really simple, because ending the song, the phrase on the 1 chord, and then moving back to the 3 chord to start the tag, remember the tag is going to start on 3, minor 3, that's not really a very smooth, very cool sound. Here's how it sounds. Okay, now we got to go back to the tag. Now, I'm not going to say that it's a sin to play that way, but to me it sort of lacks sophistication. So what I want to do is I want to put a turn there. I'm going to put a turn between those 2 phrases that smoothly leads back to the minor 3. And there's a lot of ways to do that, but here is what I am doing in this particular song, and I thought it might be of interest to you. I'm going to use a 2 chord turn. It's a little progression, and the progression is this. It's sharp 4, half diminished, moving to minor 4, 6. Now, let's talk about what those chords are, because some of your eyes are glazing over at this point. Basically, the way it works is this. A sharp 4 half diminished chord is a half diminished chord that's built on the sharp 4. What is the sharp 4? Well, we're in the key of C. 1, 2, 3, 4. F is 4. Sharp 4 would be F sharp. Okay, so we're going to build a chord on F sharp, and it needs to be half diminished. The easiest way I know to play a half diminished chord is to play a minor 7th, which would be F sharp, A, C sharp, and E, and then we're going to drop the 5, a half step. So it's that sound right there, F sharp, A, C, and E. Okay? So that is the chord that we're actually going to end the first phrase on. In other words, instead of ending on 1, we're going to do a chord substitution. And you say, Greg, will that work? Absolutely it works. I do this all the time. This is one of my go-to substitutions. Sharp 4 half diminished for 1. Then that particular chord wants to resolve down a half step. So we're going to resolve it down to F. Now you can use any version of F you want. I'm going to choose an F minor 6. So it's going to be F, A flat, and C, and then I'm going to add a D. That's your 6. So we're going to go this, that's F sharp half diminished, to this. F minor 6. Now this chord right here, guys, loves to resolve down a half step to minor 3, which is exactly where we need to go. So if I end the first phrase, the first time through, the last line, first time through, I'm going to end on sharp 4 half diminished, which likes to go to minor 4 6, which likes to lead to 3. That will set up my last line, because the last line is going to start on 3. Now let's play it through and you can see what I'm talking about. I have chord problems here. Not the kind of chords you play on the piano, as in chord problems as in wires. Let's play the last line slowly. Minor 3, flat 3 half diminished, minor 2, 5 sus, 5, and now instead of playing 1, which everybody's expecting to hear 1, I'm going to play this instead. Okay, so let's go through that again. Here's your F sharp half diminished. That's a sharp 4 half diminished. There's your 4 minor 6. And now 3. You see how nice and that smooth that sounds? Now you can end the song, or if you want to tag it again, you can. In software, we'd call it an infinite loop. You can keep doing that little tag over and over again and never end the song, but I'm going to end the song. So this time I'm going to play a 1. Okay, let's do the whole thing a little bit faster so you hear the full effect, and then we'll be done. All right, so that sounds really, really nice, partly because you have that nice movement down by steps in the bass. Remember, at the end of the first line, the second to the last chord is going to be a 5. So we start on 5, and then we're going to move, instead of to 1, we're going to move down a half step, sharp 4 half diminished, and then down a half step to minor 4 6, down a half step to minor 3, down a half step to flat 3 diminished, and then down a half step to 2. So it's a really, really good, nice sounding progression. Hope that was helpful, and I'll see you again in future videos.